And, oh, there's a camera. I thought we were doing a podcast like in 1994. But no, it's the modern world, so we've got to do a video on YouTube. Woo. And I'm here with Dave Altizer.
Altizer, yes, that's me.
German name, isn't it?
German name. Altizer means old house in German, something about.
So I'm here with Dave Oldhouse. And Reed is a clan name from Scotland, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some interesting information. So yeah, what shall we start talking about first, Dave?
I think the biggest surprise of just the last couple of weeks is this camera right here.
Yeah, the XT3.
I kind of wrote it off when it first was announced. It was during that fuss with the EOSR. It was literally the same day, actually. I think the EOSR came out. So I didn't even pay any attention to the Fuji.
It's basically got the GH5S codec in it, really. Like 400 megabit all-I, 10-bit, 420. And I've yet to see if that makes a difference between 420 and 422.
Yeah. It's pretty negligible, I guess, but which is a word that was given to me by my shooter, Connor. I never say the word negligible. Now it's in my vocabulary. But,
what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from Manchester.
But yeah, the XT3, I think it's like a Super 35 GH5S.
Yeah. And that's pretty unique, really. 1.5 times crop. And if you put a fast lens on it, like this Speedmaster by Zhonghe?
This is 0.95.
Yeah, and it's not a cheap Chinese lens. It's a really good one. Like, it cost about 600 euros, but it looks like a Leica wide open. Like, it's got such a contrast and punch to it and a sharpness at f/0.95. And some of the Chinese lenses we're seeing, like the Kip-on 40mm f/0.85, really innovative stuff coming out from China. And I can't wait to get my hands on that. But Kai Wong stole the pink version of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now, well, he didn't steal it. He's reviewing it, and I want to review it, but he's...
Yeah, we put that lens from the Kip-on booth on our, well, we're filming on the Sony right now, but we put it on the Sony, and it looks actually pretty good.
And it's for Fuji X mount as well. Mm-hmm. And so it's basically a Super 35 lens that's mega fast.
Well, what do you want to talk about here? We're here at Photokina. We've done a couple of videos already, kind of going over a lot of the big kind of tentpole items. Do you want to talk about some of the things maybe people don't know about or people aren't talking about?
Maybe Atomus. Yeah. It's not really a side kind of stall. We're quite a big company. But like we didn't mention it in the other videos. And I'm interested to see what they do with RAW. Whether they'll support Blackmagic RAW or whether you'll have to buy a Blackmagic RAW recorder for that. Whether they'll support ProRes RAW, which is pretty cool.
They do.
Yeah.
The Infernos, they do.
Yeah, yeah.
The Atomos 5 is apparently, Jeremy said that it is capable of doing ProRes RAW, but nobody is doing ProRes RAW through HDMI yet. It's only through SDI. Yeah. So hopefully this new Panasonic camera maybe will do a ProRes RAW out of the HDMI.
Yeah, because we met with a friend who's in the camera industry, and he suggested that maybe the reason the Panasonic is as large as it is, the S1, is because of the extra heat that it'll generate when it records RAW video.
That'd be amazing.
It certainly will. It's just a rumour, but it has got a USB-C output on it that will be capable of that. And it's a big, big camera, and Panasonic have always been very good at managing the heat in the bodies, so that could happen. And over at Atomus, I suggested they make an HDMI cage, which is basically getting rid of the HDMI cable altogether and building it into the structure of the cage so that it comes straight out the side of the camera, up the structure of the metal cage, inside the metal, along the corner and up into the top of the monitor. So up from the top of the cage into the bottom of the monitor. Because all this like HDMI cable coming out of the side, even with a clamp, and then looping around to the side of the monitor is bullshit as far as I'm concerned. I just don't like the ergonomics of it. And it's so easy to snag it and So there needs to be some innovation from Atomus regarding the accessories and the cages that they could be making, or anyone else could make it, because it's literally just
Third party could make that.
yeah, it's just a metal cable, isn't it, inside the structure of the cage, so that it vanishes.
So I'm digging into what are popular topics on the EOSHD forum. Tilted towards me. Some topics on the EOSHD forum that are really popular. One is the Blackmagic 4K. What are your thoughts on that right now? Do you have your hands on one? Have you gotten one yet?
No.
I think Kai W was teasing you and tweeting you and saying that he had one, right?
Kai has been sending me abusive messages on Twitter saying, I've got a Blackmagic 4K camera and I'm at Photokina and I'm right in front of you. But then when I tried to meet up and get my hands on it, he vanished. So I've yet to see it or get my hands on one.
Cyberbullying is what they call that, right?
I think he's just basically a troll, isn't he?
We love
Who likes pink lenses, but we love him, yeah. And I think...
He's honest. He's an honest reviewer, I think.
Yeah, he's very good. I think what I'm getting at with the Pocket 4K camera is that the interest on the EOSHD has been mammoth. That single post about it has like 200 pages odd and about 500,000 views since it was announced at NAB. And yet they didn't give me one to review. So that's why I was a little bit upset about it. But they have invited me to get my hands on it on the 10th of October so I can finally give you some thoughts on it, because I have no idea really if it's going to be any good or not yet.
It should be good. It's got a sensor that we're familiar with the GH5S, which is a good sensor, clean. But the images I've seen of it, some of them are pretty noisy. Have you noticed that? No. We downloaded some of the footage from the online. You could download some of John Brawley's stuff, and we don't have to get into that. But we pulled it into Resolve, and it wasn't as impressive as I was hoping. It doesn't have that kind of mojo that the Ursa Mini Pro has, the 4.6K sensor.
I noticed there was a bit of crushing in the blacks as well, where the information just rather than roll off in a really creamy way, just step down to nothing but a load of noise. So it's popular because it's the only cheap camera that shoots RAW, but people are getting very carried away with it, and I think we need to really put it through some honest reviews before we can say that it's good or not. But I like Blackmagic, and what they've done with the cameras is amazing in such a short time, and the editing side with Resolve is superb as well. So yeah, let's wait and see for the Blackmagic camera. It is shipping now, but it's shipping in such small quantities that even shops with a pre-order list of 10 people haven't got enough. So some of the bigger shops have like queues of 200 people to get through before anyone else can actually buy one.
Do you think IBIS matters in a camera? Is it important to have now?
I like it a lot, but it makes me quite lazy, and I think sometimes you need a good tripod for the or a rig or a gorilla pod just mounted on your shoulders like this, and then the EVF in your head.
But is that just a cop-out for you to say that? Because you can turn IBIS off.
Yeah, I'd rather have it in than not, definitely. But it's not a deal breaker if it's not there, like in the XT3. Because it depends what you're doing, but some camera movement gives a certain atmosphere. And if it looks floaty and too steady, that's a different atmosphere to one that's more energetic and human. And I think it depends on just what you're shooting. And sometimes, if you're shooting like a Stanley Kubrick epic, you need a tripod. And you need graceful, slow movements. And any kind of sense of handheld footage, whether it's IBIS or not, is wrong for that kind of film. So it really depends on the work that you're doing.
Carter, let's talk about
I think Dan Chung's had his hands on Rodney Charter's pole, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I see. But it's that's a great little innovative prop. And
It's a big stick.
yeah, a big stick, but sometimes simple is great for creativity.
Yeah, the Roddy
Like-
Charters pole.
Yeah, I want one.
I'm going to put your hand on it.
I want to get my hands on his pole. Yeah.
Well, should we end it there? Or?
No, let's not end on that note. I'm going to have to edit it out. So,
Lighting? I think there's some really interesting innovation in lighting. We've been buying these really small LEDs that have a high CRI rating now, like a CRI 95. You can get a little LED panel for like $30 on Amazon.
why are Germans like this? They're always flying a robot or a machine or something like.
This is amazing.
So yeah, the USB lighting was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was so thin and light, and it just plugs into a portable USB battery or into the camera.
Yeah.
How
Do-
powerful was it?
I don't know. I don't know the rating on it, but I'm just saying overall, right now, I don't know if you've been following the LED kind of stuff, the Chinese LED stuff. It's just gotten so cheap and so good.
Yeah.
So,
And lighting is the most important aspect of the image, actually.
especially on Sony cameras. If you don't have good lighting on a Sony camera, it looks terrible.
Yeah, definitely. We're shooting this with EOSHD Pro Color, and hopefully it's holding up well.
Yeah, this is.
And
This is in the HDR HLG as well. So we have.
for me, like grading and color profiles are like digital lighting in the camera and on the edit. So that's important as well. If you haven't got good lights, then just do a good color profile or a good LUT.
Do you feel like Sony has fixed their color science, or is it still not as good? Is it better than?
They've fixed the sensor and processor in regards to the color science, but it's still 8-bit, and the picture profiles are good when you tweak them and customize them because they're so extensive to customize. But the out-of-the-box settings are still bad, like for skin tones, and it's baffling to me why they can't add a more artistic vision to their colour. Just what's the creative styles all about? Vivid. Doesn't mean anything. It's like put some cinema style stuff in there and like excitals. Put an Alexa LUT in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you come in, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's why EOSHD Pro Color exists, and the Prolog LUTs, which I'm going to bring out for the A7 III and the A7R III. I think it's important that you have that easy access to great colour, and that you're not reliant on this strange, dated Rec 709 colour selections in the camera. And not everyone knows how to tweak them, and it takes a lot of shooting and testing to kind of get the colours to look good. And then you share the magic formula for like $20. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's probably everything now. I'm knackered. But it's been a great show. Like, really cool to meet various people. I saw the Panasonic engineer, long-time engineer of the GH cameras and the G Lumix system, having a little cigarette break outside. And it's cool, you can just bump into the Japanese engineers at the show, which I greatly respect. And it's been really good fun just to mingle with the camera companies and stuff.
Are you afraid of having your face on the internet now?
I'm a bit more used to it now since you thrust a camera in front of me, and and I'm quite enjoying it. Because EOS HD has always been about the more written side, and I want to get into more kind of YouTube stuff and come up with some good ideas for like videos and collaborate with you and like maybe do some stuff together.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers.